हाय एवरीवन, आज हम लोग बात करेंगे ई टेक्स्ट टेम्पलेट्स की. Oracle gives multiple types of templates. Previously in 11i, what RDF templates did, and later what BI or XML publisher reports and BI reports, उसमें ही one of the additions was ETEXT templates. So whenever there is a requirement of transferring huge data, uh, so instead of normal reporting system, we use ETEXT templates. For example, if any bank has to transfer or generate a payment file report or a payment file text format output, then all the payment details and everything that might be having more data, or exchange of documents in between two companies, for example like invoices or payment documents, those kind of documents. All these any business documents like POs or invoices in between the companies, they have they might have huge data. So for that, instead of using the normal BIP templates, BI publisher templates, ETEXT templates are basically used. It has two types. We'll discuss both. So let's start the topic. So we have finished OTBI. There are a few more things to cover. Uh, so I think most of the topics of OTBI are covered. Now in ETEXT templates, there are also types of basically an RTF template only. So let's start with this. So ETEXT template is nothing but a kind RTF based template which generates text output for electronic fund transfer and electronic data interchange. So it has two methods. It generates output for two methods. One is EFT and one is EDI. Electronic fund transfer, we'll see what is that and how these two are different. Basically, in runtime, BIP or BI publisher applies the template to input XML that we know, to the input XML data file, and it creates a output text file. And here it might be transmitted to bank or other customer. So for EFTs, electronic fund transfer, let's say payment file is generated, so that will be transferred to bank. And if it's a EDI document, then it would be transferred to the customer. Um, Mostly EFT are always fixed position based, and EDI are delimiter based. Delimiter can be a comma, it could be a pipe, it could be anything. And fixed position based basically they are used whenever we are transferring information, or we are generating any kind of file having financial information. Okay, so mostly among the banks or other financial institutions, we'll use EFT. Now both of them follow very specific format instructions for the exact placement of data. So be it fixed position based template, or we are using delimiter based, both should have fixed positions. For example, I'll later explain what is an EDI and EFT. Um, both One common thing among the between both is that we both have very specific format instruction. We have to follow exact those to place the data, for the exact placement of data in the output. And why we need that for the exact placement, like for any kind of electronic data interchange document. If you're just interchanging data, then we will be using EDI, and if you're transferring any funding information or financial data, we'll be using EFT. Why there is a requirement for placement of data is that you have to be exact about it, that because let's say if I'm generating a PO, then it might have a purchase order, then we will have like lines and lines of information, and might be generating a report which will have uh, multiple POs. So in that, every single field should be uh, separated with a delimiter, pipe or a comma or a dash or whatever, to distinguish between the fields, different fields. Okay, so first line will have first PO will have XYZ columns, second PO will have the same columns. So uh, after, so each in that manner you'll have like multiple invoices or POs in a single document. Second thing is electronic fund transfer. So in that thing, every single thing usually starts with a fixed position. For example, I'll show the output later. um, okay, here let's just see output. Like if you have invoice ID, invoice number, then an amount and ID. Here I have placed delimiters, but usually like it depends upon how the output we want, but usually every single field is starting after there is a space, and this space differs for each um, column value, right? So these are my in the output, these are the first line itself is the description of which field I have written in shortcut. It could be invoice ID, invoice number, amount, and other stuff, invoice date. So but each field is starting, like it's starting from 1. The next, this will have a fixed position, like maybe 10 characters or 10 number of characters will be placed for this ID. Then from the 11th one, you'll have a delimiter here. This is not compulsory to have a delimiter, I have just taken as an example here. But let's say if you don't have delimiter, and from the 10th position itself, it's the invoice, the title is starting, all the values in this invoice number are starting, and this will again have from, let's say, 20 characters of length. Then from the 21st character, this pipe will start, this amount on these values will start. Okay, so to distinguish with the financial data, we usually follow this format. Whereas if it's fixed position data, then it will have something like this: invoice ID with a then you'll have a pipe delimiter, invoice amount, name, sorry, number, then you'll have amount and ID. Everything, the first line usually is the description of, or the column name, that what is the column name here, and the second line onwards you'll have all the values. So I've just written one line here. So first one is, let's say, invoice ID. I've just given an example like 1 2 3. Then you have a delimiter. There is no space for this. So let's say my column length is 10. I've taken invoice ID as 10. Okay. So in case of EFT transactions, financial data, after 3 characters there will be space kept. The rest of 7 things, they will be kept, the space will be kept, and then from the 11th character the next field starts. Whereas from in the EDI transactions, immediately a placeholder, or sorry, a delimiter will be placed. So this is, pipe is my delimiter. Then you'll have invoice number 22 I have given, amount 28, just I have just given an example here. You can give the like data when it comes to the actual data, it will be same. Then you will have invoice date, so I have given a date column here. So these things, this is how the data differs in both formats. So we'll see what else is there. First thing here is, since it is for electronic communication, both things, either you are generating a PO or invoice and sending it via mail, or exchanging between two like branches of or departments of a company, then it will be deciphered via electronic, either like it will be again taken into the system through the reports only. Okay, so for that electronic interchange of data, it could be, or you can be generating just a report to send it to mail it to the customers, or to generate at a particular location and be picked up by a third party. Then in those cases what happens is, you need to be specific, generate standard format, and it has to be specific. So delimited data is always used for interchange of data, uh, and the data is usually the business documents generation. We exchange between the exchange between two departments of a company, or generating the POs or invoices for the customers, all that. And if your second thing is, I haven't written here. First one is for, since it's for output is for electronic communication, plus it also has something that it deals with huge amounts of data. Second thing here is that both deal with huge amounts of, let's say, I want a report with all the POs generated for 1 month, 2 months, 3 months, or a certain period of time, maybe a quarter. Uh, Depending upon which supplier it is, I want it supplier wise. Then or a particular, for all the suppliers I want, or for a set of particular set of customers I want it. Then it will obviously generate huge amounts of data. So instead of regular reports, where you will have a particular format, that this is the date, this is the thing and everything, what we do is we generate to using, either if it's a bank or a funding information, any kind of financial transfer, we use EFTs. And if it's any kind of business document generation, then we use EDI. So yeah, EFT, we'll see the next thing. EFT is electronic transmission of financial data and payments to the bank in a specific fixed position format, flat file. So flat file is nothing but the text file we generate as an output. Then EDI is delimiter based flat file or text output, used for exchanging the business documents like POs, invoices in between the companies. I hope it's clear why we use EFT and EDI. The next thing is, we'll see each of the what is the form template, how does it looks, we'll see everything. So first of all, we'll go to my standard navigation is tools, reports, analytics. Then we'll go to browse catalog, we'll click on new, we'll click on data model, and after data model we'll go to the diagram. We have 3 tabs: diagram, structure and data. So we'll go to diagram tab, click on plus, we'll select SQL query. My name I can give whatever I want. Data source should be application FSCM. Here I am taking the data for AP invoices all. So I am taking it FSCM. Instead you can, if you are using any tables or queries from CRM, then you can use CRM one here, application DB underscore CRM, or underscore what else you have, finance, it's FSCM. You can also have CRM, and what else, I think HCM also we have. So depending upon which module or which offering I want to take data of, you have to select that one for the data source. After that we have type of SQL, so I will be taking standard SQL here. Now what's my SQL query is like, I've just taken a small example. Like you have select invoice ID, invoice number, invoice amount, and I've taken invoice date. I've used 2char to show this in this format, DDMON RRR. So then I've taken the invoice, given an alias name, same name as this, and from AP invoices all where invoice just row num is less than 101. So here that's my query. I'll click on OK. I have not taken any parameters or anything like that. Just taking showing it as simple as possible. Uh, Give me a second. Okay, one thing to take care here is whatever formatting, like let's say you want to show any numbering like decimal places, you want to show any um, columns or thousand separators, or you want to show how the format, the date format should look, how the characters should look, everything formatting related stuff should be done in the query. Maximum whatever is possible, that should be done in the query itself. um, then what is this? Okay, now I have created a query. The next thing is that I need to save the sample data. We have in the previous lives we have discussed every single time whenever I need an XML to generate, uh, before that I need to generate the data. Even like for normal BI reports or ETEXT reports, I need to import the XML and then generate the fields, right? So for that I need to first of all do the save as sample data. So we'll go to view tab, uh, then sorry, we have I previously said that there are three tabs: structure, diagram, structure and data. So diagram type we write the query, then structure tab we can give the tag names and the display names. Then in the data tab, what we have is we can view the data. It usually has two formats, either table format output or tree format output. We can select any one and see the output. So in the data tab, there are few buttons. Like for viewing the data first, it usually shows the output. If you have any parameters, you just give the parameter values and then click on view. Then we have save as sample data button as well. Uh, we also have export button for exporting the XML. What else we have? Export, view, save as sample data. Yeah, I think these three are there. So we'll click on view first. So in the data tab, right now I don't have any output parameters to give. So I'll just click on view and the output would come. A table output would come, and after that we'll click on save as sample data. After that we'll save the data model. Save the data model as XX ETEXT DM, and the next thing is I'll click on export. These three things: view, export and save as sample data. These three buttons are in the data tab itself. Okay. After export, what we'll do is you'll have a downloaded XML. So we'll just click this XML, XX text DM. It usually takes after the DM name. Okay. So we'll open it in the Notepad plus plus, and we'll just keep it for now, because in the I don't know if I have written that or not. Yeah, I need to load the XML, this XML, whatever we have downloaded this XML, After you save this, save as sample data, and we'll click on save. You have created a DM, and after that I have exported the XML. Okay, I'll just keep the XML for now. The next thing is um, mm, okay, the next thing is I should be creating an RTF report which is in the ETEXT template format. So first of all, we'll see how to do that. See, just open the Word document and save as edi.rtf. RTF, once I save it, I'll have add-ins tab there. If I save as whatever the name I want to give .rtf, we'll again open it, the document, Word document, and we'll have add-ins tab. In add-ins tab, we'll have data. In data, this add-in tabs have three things: data, insert, and preview. So in the data tab, we'll just go and click on load XML, or you also have load XML schema. So right now I'm taking load XML, and I'm selecting I'll just go wherever my XML is saved in the local desktop. I'll just go and select that. After that is done, again in add-ins tab, we'll have insert. I said like it has three tabs: data, insert, and preview. So in the insert, I can use it to insert the column names or fields. So it will have a single field and all fields as well. So you can just select field and click on each individual column name, or you can click on all fields as well. After this is done, so my template, how that should be, I'll show you the template format. This is my EDI template, electronic data interchange template. This is to create the data output for EDI, which is delimiter based, and this is used for electronic communication, for exchanging the business documents like invoices, etc., in between the companies. So it will have delimited, like you have data, then you have a delimiter, then you have data, then you have a delimiter. So this is my file name, edi.rtf. I have saved it here, edi.rtf. First thing I want to, this is how the template looks like. First thing I want here is the template type. So the template type is delimiter based. You have to give this name exactly. Then you have an output character set. It could be ISO, any format output. You have multiple character sets. So depending upon requirement, this changes. Okay, output character set. Then you have a case conversion. How the output should look like. Like for example, the first line in my output is the column names, which are delimited by or which are differentiated by a delimiter. So everything should come in capital. So like this is the first portion is for my table header. I have written here table header, right? So invoice ID, invoice number, amount, invoice date, everything should come in capital letters. So that's why I have given case conversion as upper. Okay, even the column names, everything, if any value that comes, that should be coming in capital letters. Here in this, the first part is how there are certain fields that you need to fill. These are basic fields, but apart from these, there are also multiple fields. Like if you want to exchange any, if you want to remove any extra characters that are like, when in certain languages, when you create these ETEXT or EDI templates, some extra characters like a square or a dot or a dash, these kind of extra characters come, they are generated. So if you want to remove those characters, or if you want to also replace certain characters, like for Hungarian templates or in certain business unit or operating unit areas, you want to generate you want to replace certain characters with ABC or the normal language characters, English characters, then in that case you have replaced characters also here. So this portion, this first portion is also, it's very lengthy. I've just taken the basic things. You can search for in Google, you can just search for ETEXT template format. It shows all the excuse me, whatever the um, columns are there, or the field values are there that need to be filled up. I have just given two more examples, like if you want to remove certain characters, if you want to replace certain characters, those things can also be done here. In certain languages you need to do that process, not for every implementation. So in the case conversion I have taken upper, then new record character, what should be considered? It should be carriage return. Now here the next thing is level, maximum length, format, data and comment. Okay, before that, what is level? I'll show you, and then you have a new record. So the very first thing in any, be it EFT or be it EDI, the first line in the report should be my column headers or the column name. So I have taken table header here. You can write anything just to describe what it is about. I have written table header, and this is my new record. So I have written new record here. These are the maximum length, format, data and comment. You can write comment about each column name here, and this is the maximum length. Like starting from 0, my invoice ID is taking 20 characters, and this is my format. Alpha is for alphanumerics, number is for numbers like invoice ID. Here if you see, I have taken invoice number also in alphanumeric format, whereas any amount and where is that, invoice IDs, they should be in numbers, and invoice date is again in date format. So after 20 characters I have taken a delimiter. This is my pipe, is my delimiter. So the next one is, it has only one character length. Then you have alpha, then you have a pipe. The next one is invoice number. So I have taken 50 characters, alpha, number. Similarly, now this is my heading, how this should be written, invoice ID. So that's why I have taken alphanumeric values here for number and invoice date also. I want to show that this entire thing represents my first line here, like invoice ID, invoice num, amount, ID. That's why I have taken alphanumeric here. Now what is this level? I will see. In the structure tab you have something called as data structure, and the respective XML tag name for that is data DS. Data structure is nothing but that comes from data source, whatever data source we take. Here we have taken data source from application FSCM, right? So this is nothing but data source, and this is nothing but XML tag name for that particular data structure. It starts with this. Okay, so you have to write that one. Where you can find it in structure tab, data structure. See, this is coming from data source, right? The entire data is coming from data source, so you can remember it just like data, because it's coming from data source, and underscore DS. DS is nothing but it represents data structure, and data underscore DS is the XML tab name. You can find this in the structure tab, or you can also go to data tab. As I told, the output comes in two formats, tree view and the table view. So if you use the tree view, the XML format tree would appear. So the very first node is the data DS in there. Okay. Okay, after this is done, the next one is, again I am taking level here. Here the next level is G1, group 1. Now the data should come. Okay. So G1 is nothing but group 1. So like in the structure tab, for the data source, this SQL one, I have taken one query. If you have multiple queries, you might have, or for a single query you might also have multiple groups. So this is G1 is the XML tag name. Currently I have only one group, so this is the group name for the next level. So that's what I've written here. Okay, you can see it in the structure tab again. Now maximum length, format, data, comment, these are the things. You can give the respective comments here. So now here, how does it look? First one is maximum length, number, my invoice ID is number format. So I have given it as number. Uh, then you have a delimiter. Then again you have invoice number, it's in alphanumeric format. Then again you have a delimiter in then next one is invoice amount in a number format. You have pipe again in the alphanumeric. Then you have date in the date format. Here I have taken new record as table header. You can write anything. This was just written in this CLR data, so I have kept it as it is. You can write anything to like describe that this is the new record starting. Okay, and this thing repeats till whatever where condition you give. For whatever where condition inside this group, for this particular group is given. Like if I say 100 like I have taken row num as less than 101, so 100 times this entire group will be repeated and 100 lines of data will be present along with first one which is the my table header, sorry, column headers or the column names, the first line, and you will have 100 lines of data. Okay, so my after this I'm first of all I'm closing this one. Let's say if you have multiple groups or subgroups, then you have to close the innermost group first. End level you should write like if I have 7 groups, so you should write end level G7 first, then G6, then G4, then G5, that kind of thing. Okay, so because I have one, I am closing this with G1 first and the end level data DS second. Data DS was this. Okay, this is a subgroup under this level. Okay, this is the first group, but like this comes under this level. First of all, we have defined my column names here. I hope this is clear. Okay, now after this is done, I have let's say I have created this particular RTF and I have saved it. Now what you do is in the DM, if you click on existing DM, you already have saved DM, so under the existing DM, and there you will have a create report option. Okay, click on that and cancel it. After that a page opens where you can because I have selected DM already, so you don't need to select DM, or you can search for DM. There is a DM tab there, sorry, a search area there for selecting the DM. After you select the DM, you have two options we have previously discussed. One is upload option, one is generate option. Like you want the system to generate a report, or you want the user generated this template to upload. So you click on upload option. So once you click on upload option, there are 4 things that comes. First one is layout name. I have given as EDI.RTF. That's my layout name here. I'm just giving an example. You should start with whatever nomenclature rules you have for your particular client. Then you have template file. This is where I'll be browsing and selecting my RTF file from the local place system. Then here type is, instead of RTF, this should be ETEXT template, and this should be ETEXT outbound. If you have previously worked with ETEXT, there are 2 types, ETEXT inbound and outbound. So this should be ETEXT outbound here. I have just written ETEXT template, but it should be ETEXT outbound. Then you have locale, for which locale you want to upload this. For now it's English, I am doing it in English, so my locale should be English. And after click on update and save it again. So you have saved your DM, you have saved your template, and now you are saving the report name. I have given EDI template based report. After that, click on view report. So once you view report, you will have generated a output text file which is delimited with a pipe. So this is how my reports look like. I actually, there was no space, that's why I've written in small letters, but every column name comes in capital. Okay, here also I should have amount, or like invoice. I've taken a name, written names in shortcuts here as well. I've written in shortcut and in small letters, but because I've taken the uppercase in the previous template, that's why it should be invoice ID, invoice num, amount, invoice date, everything should be it comes in capital letters, all caps. Then you have 100 records of my data for these column values. Because I've just taken as row number as 100, so whatever where condition that suits your requirement, you just put it there and you'll have respective number of records there. This was for generating a PO document or an invoice or any kind of business exchange document. The next one is for banking related stuff, like for generating payment files, payment information and all that. So we'll see the next one. Okay. So again the navigation is same. Sorry. Here again the navigation is same. Tools, reports and analytics, browse catalog, new. We'll select data model. We'll go to diagram tab, click on plus and SQL query. Then after that we'll have name, data source, type of SQL and the SQL query. So I've just given the standard name as SQL1 and application DB FSCM because I'm taking a table, I'm using the information from invoices. So this is finance and SCM both. So after that, type of SQL is standard SQL. Then my SQL query again it's the same one. I'm taking invoice ID, invoice number, then amount, then a date from the invoice AP invoices all, and again I'm taking less than like 100 rows. I've clicked on OK. Usually after OK, if you have given a colon and you have given any parameters, then it after OK it asks for usually all the parameter names along with a checkbox, and you are supposed to check all the parameters that you have generated if you want them to include and if you want to add the details for those parameters. Because I don't have parameters, it just directly closes. Now in the data tab, you go to tree view or in the structure tab as well. We can see my data DS. This is how it looks actually. If you're in the data tab, if you're in the tree view, this is how it looks. Data and G1, then you will have invoice ID, then it values, then again for everything this repeats. Like for this is for one row, it repeats for multiple rows. Okay. So this is my level. This is one level data DS, and this is another level G1. In this data structure tab, you have data source and its respective XML tab name. So for the report data, if you have a SQL, this is my data source from where the data is coming, and this is the respective tag name, the group which is created for this SQL, G1 G_1. And for the data structure, from this is the root of my XML. This is data DS is the root of my XML tag. This is where from everything starts. After data DS you usually have all the column names, and then from G1 the grouping starts. So for data structure, as my data source name, you'll have the XML tag name as data DS. For SQL one, you'll have G1. If you have multiple queries also, it will have multiple group names. Now this is my format. Let me see if I've written this thing. Okay, we'll be creating just we'll repeat the same thing. We'll generate this time EFT.RTF. We'll click on open add-ins data. We'll load the XML, and we'll insert all fields here. It's better to download a sample template for ETEXT, and then whichever column, like for here you have few more columns here that should be included, but for now I didn't have requirement, so I just included basic 4 things. But you can remove those record or those ones which you don't require, and keep the rest of things. And how do you include, we have done after loading the XML, we went to insert tab, and we have clicked on either all for at a time, or you can instead of that, in this case you first write all the names of your columns, and after that here wherever I am supposed to give the invoice column name here. Okay, so come to this place and click on the insert tab in add-ins in add-ins tab, go to insert tab and click on field or all fields. You can click multiple, if you don't have a particular format you can click include all the fields, but for now I'll click on field, and in the field I'll select which field, the column name that I want the field for. Okay, so I want for invoice ID, again I'll repeat for invoice number, I'll repeat for invoice amount, I'll repeat for invoice date. Go to add-ins, go to data tab, click on field, and after clicking on field, click on the column name that you want the respective field for. Okay, so this again is the same thing. Here the template type for EFT, it is fixed position based. You have to write the same thing here. ISO changes, the output character set, it changes according to ASCII, to be ASCII or ISO, whatever format, character set format you want. Case conversion is again appear, I have given. New record character is carriage return. So for my first level I have explained this already. Here these things change now because it's a fixed position base. So I have to give the starting position, I have to give the length, I have after that, because it's fixed position, I also have to give the padding of that particular column. You want it left padded or right padded. So what are the extra fields that have previous one had format, data, comments and maximum length. This one, instead of maximum length, what you have a position, because it's a fixed based position, a position based, then you have a position first, that from where the column should start, value should start, and its length, respective length, and after format it should also have a padding, like how it should be padded. Okay, so new record again is table header. I have given label, first one is data DS. So I'll just explain, because these are column names here. So invoice ID it should be written in the same format, like the column names are, see, if I'm giving text here, this is my column name, invoice ID. Okay, although I've given invoice ID here, it will be converted as upper text invoice ID, because I have written upper here. Previously also, whenever you are giving any text here, you have to give it in single quote. Okay, or any delimiter also you are giving it in single quote. But for the column names, what I did was I went to add-ins data, and I'll click on insert. In that I'll click on field or all fields. So for individual field I'm inserting invoice ID, invoice number, invoice amount and date. Okay, so these are my column fields I'm inserting. That's why there is no single quote here. Okay, so let's say first one is invoice ID. I've taken length as 20. This is my alphanumeric value, and it should be right padded. Okay, this is how you write right padding or left padding. The next one is delimiter, then you have invoice number, then again you have delimiter. So all the alphanumeric values, because these are my column names, so that's why these are in single quotes. After the first one, this is my entire length, this is my starting position, this is the length of invoice ID. After that you have from the 21st character, what you have is a delimiter. After that I've taken the length of 3, right? So 21, 22, 23. So after a delimiter there should be 2 spaces left. After that from 24th to 50th I have taken for invoice number. Okay, and after that from the 75th, so I can decide my position here. I can also decide how much space. So after every delimiter I'm taking a space of 2 characters here, just to keep it clean. I am taking a space of 2 characters after every delimiter here. Okay, so you can see here 24th, okay, up to 50th. Okay, see here the position is from 24th to 50. 24th you also add 50 more characters here, so 74. Okay, so after that from the 75th position, first one, this should be here. Sorry, this is right padded, so 2 spaces before this thing. Okay, before the delimiter there should be 2 spaces, because this you have three as column length. So first space, second space, and you have a right padding. First space, second space, then you have a right padding. Okay, so after 75th, this is 24 plus 50, 70, 74 characters are done when I have written invoice number. After that I'm taking 2 characters in space characters in front. From the 75th it should start. 75th, 76th, sorry, 76th, just a second, 5, 6, 7, 8, yeah. So 76th, 77, 70, sorry, 75th it should start. 5, 6, 7, and 78th the next should start. And the last one is my delimiter, because I have right padded it. Okay, so this is how all the column names should come. The next one is for level. I've explained this previously, how the group, where should we take the data DS or the group name. Again the same thing, you will have these are my columns here, so we will insert the field name here. Okay, from the front, using the data insert in add-ins tab, we will go to data tab, and we will click on insert and click on field, and after field you click on the respective column name here. Okay, so let's see one or two. Invoice ID, I'm taking the first position and I'm taking the length as 20. After that, from the 21st position, I'm taking 3 characters space, and in the space I have to insert a delimiter, and it should be right padded. Okay, so this is how my it should be calculated, length should be calculated for writing this. And again I'm ending the levels here. After that I have saved the entire RTF. Again in the front end, I'm again doing save as sample data. Again we have to, before for me to get the XML, I have to, after writing the query, I have to do the save as sample data. I have to view it, and after viewing, sorry, first of all, uh, after you write a query and click on OK, you go to data tab, and in the data tab you have something called as view button. So if it has any parameters, click on give those parameters and click on view. You will have an output. You can see the output in the data tab itself in either data format or tree format. So after you're done viewing the output, you have to click on save as sample data, this one. After that is done, save the data model, and after saving the data model, again what you do is you have a create report there. So click on create report, cancel it again, and search for again this same DM name. A new, after you cancel this create report, a new page opens where you'll have two options. One, for searching the DM, there will be a field for searching the DM, and you just search the DM name, whatever you saved as, and then you have generate option, and you have upload option as well. So click on upload, because I have created it, user created RTF should be there uploaded, so I'll choose the upload RTF option. You have four things here to be given: the layout name, you have template file, then you have the type as ETEXT outbound template, you will choose local. After upload is done, you will just save, and save as ETF template based report, and click on view report. This is how my output should look. So I have just written this in shortcuts. It should be invoice, let's say if it's invoice ID, so it should be given as invoice ID, invoice number, then I have given amount in capital, again invoice date. Here I have written these in small cases, but here I have given for every single alphanumeric value I give, that should be not alphanumeric, the characters, that should be uh, converted into uppercase. So that's why my output, which represents the first line, which represents my column names, that is in the every column name is in uppercase. And you'll have 100 columns here, same thing. This is how my output looks. You'll have 100 rows, 100 rows of output, which are, you have, see, you have space here, right? This is how it looks. Hope these things are clear. We'll cover few more topics like customizing the seeded or standard report, differentiating between how to open the standard report with or without XMLP server. Then you have customizing the standard template in Fusion. Certain topics, like I think you have 3 topics. Yeah, we'll cover these things in the next live. Thank you.